Hello and welcome to Golden Herb Studios. In this video we'll be creating a simple Lego environment. You want to come into Meca bricks and create a tree. I just looked at references of Lego environments and I found some cool references, and then I just exported tree leaves separately, and once I did that I just duplicated them, creating a giant leaf, and then I duplicated that across the tree, and then combining the mesh, that is the tree. And then also taking the leaves, I duplicated them and randomly generated some bushes, and then also importing the grass and plants as well. If you want to skip all this and also get a grass tileable tile, and also some path presets, and the bushes, and the grass, and all that, with materials already set up inside of Blender, you can get it on my Patreon with the basic. There will also be a pro version by the time this video is released with the Unreal Engine stuff as well. And a tip for trees is to create a custom collision for just the trunk. And to do that, you just create a simple outline of the trunk, and it's just a rough shape. And you want to call this UCX-Tree01, and that's the exact same name of the tree object, Tree01. So it's UCX and then the name, and you want to select both of those, and then Shift S, cursor to world origin, and then selection to cursor, keep offset. And once you do that, you can just export to FBX, use the Lego TUE presets, which is mesh, selected objects, and scale of 0.05, geometry face, and then the rest would be exactly the same. And you just want to name it tree, and then click export. And then you just want to do that for the exact same thing. Make sure that everything is on the origin. And once you export everything, or if you have the Pro, you can just import that folder into here, or we'll just create a new folder, call it Foliage. And for the ones that we did custom collision with, which is the tree, we want to do that first, because we need to untick generate missing collision. And then let's just change this to import normals and tangents, and then import all. And then once that imports, we'll want to import the rest of it. Everything except the tree will open, and we want to generate missing collision, import normals and tangents, and import all. And once it all imports, I want to open it up and make sure it worked. And it all looks good, except for the trunk is the wrong color. So we'll click browse, and then we'll just open that up. And I believe we already have a brown material, so I'll just replace it with that. And then I'll just delete this one. And then I'll open up the plant, and we're going to make this more like leaves. And I'm just going to open up the brown, and then copy everything, and just paste it into leaves. So now that this is all plugged up, we're going to type in simple grass wind, and then we'll plug this in to the world position, and then I'll click 1 to get a couple of parameters and just plug this into each of them. And for me, 0.1 and 0.6 worked, and I'm just leaving this at 0, and then it just creates a wavy effect. So if we open up the foliage again, you can see that the leaves are wiggling. Next, I'm just going to pull out the grass tile and then delete the base. And this is a seamless tile, so I can just duplicate this over and over again. And now you can walk around on grass tiles. And the collision should all be set up. You can see that all the bumps work as they should. And the reason I did custom collision is so that I wouldn't walk on top of these pegs. So it looks like I'm kind of walking into it. Next, we want to set up the foliage. So we're going to come up here to selection mode and click foliage, and then select all of these, the trees, bushes, and grass. And you can tell that the plant didn't import, and we just need to change the plant material to plant mat, and then we can re-import plant, because it can't be the same name. Next, we'll select all of that again, and then just drag this into here. And I'll start with the trees. Just check the box, and then you can start painting. Obviously this is too much, so you can come up here and then change the density. And then I'll move on to the foliage, the grass, and the plants, and I'll turn the density up for those. And then finally I'll do the bushes, and then you can see we have some bushes, there's grass, some plants, and we also have some trees. Next, I'm going to set up the pathways. So going to the light brown, I'm going to do the same thing, copying this, and then just pasting it in and plugging everything in. So you can see over here, I have a simple little pathway. Alright, so that's all for this video for setting up Foliage. Don't forget to check out my Patreon for the Pro Pack. It'll already have a scene set up like this with all the foliage imported and the materials set up. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.